Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Joe Byrne, the Executive Secretary-Treasurer of the North Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. It doesn't feel that long ago that I was sitting in a training center where you are right now as an apprentice. I congratulate you all for taking up our trade and joining our union. When we are talking about apprenticeship, we are obviously talking about learning craft skills, how to use the tools, how to measure, cut, and assemble materials. But what you figure out as you go is that apprenticeships teach you more than construction skills. You learn teamwork, leadership, professionalism, productivity, and the value of safety and lifelong learning. All of these things impact your work hours, your paycheck, and your benefits. And so does politics. That's what we want to talk about today. Politics equal paychecks, and elections have consequences. When union carpenters advocate for our issues, we build a proud legacy. When we don't, we fall behind. Let's get a few things straight. Union carpenters talking about politics isn't new. And we aren't here to talk about Republicans and Democrats. The founder of the UBC was Peter McGuire, and he was a great organizer and political activist. McGuire not only started Labor Day, but he was a fierce advocate for laws that reduced the workday, which was 12 hours back then with no overtime pay. Our union fought to pass laws to end child labor and for the right to organize. Let's not forget minimum wage and overtime pay. These were political campaigns carried out with organized tactics. They've worked for the founding members of our union, and they've continued to work ever since. Here are some numbers that we're proud of. 66% of all Americans are registered to vote. But here in our council, more than 79% of our members are registered to vote. We show up too. In the last presidential election, turnout was 67% of Americans. And turnout for the members of our council was 76%. When you get politically active with this union, you are not alone. It is part of who we are, and we don't shy away from it. Elections have consequences, and politics equal paychecks. There are a number of issues that affect our work, but there are a few that have big impact and require constant vigilance over the years. Federal Davis-Bacon or state prevailing wage laws, infrastructure spending by federal, state, and local governments, and right to work. If you're not familiar with these subjects, don't worry. You'll learn more about them in a few minutes. I want you to remember that political action mirrors collective bargaining. Collective bargaining gets us wages, healthcare, pensions, annuities, apprenticeships, upgraded training, safety on the job, stewards on the job, and rules that set work hours and require us to be paid on time. If we don't have a union and strong collective bargaining with our contractors, all of that goes away. In the same way, political action gets us public construction money, prevailing wages on those jobs, wage theft and misclassification rules for the non-union sector, OSHA oversight, project labor agreements, training money, a voice in project approvals for private projects, and powerful allies that speak in our favor when developers come calling. Without political action, all of that goes away. Doubt it? Did you know the only thing that stops Davis-Bacon from being stripped from federal construction is a coalition of members from both parties who say no? Time and time again, our opponents try, and time again, our opponents fail. That's union political action. Union carpenters appreciate that. There are 5 Republicans in our council that support Davis-Bacon, and so we support them. This year, you may have seen or been involved in defeating right to work in New Hampshire. We have to do that every few years. Right to work doesn't have much of a chance passing in our other 6 states, but right to work has been gaining support in DC over the years. If we don't focus on who gets elected in the White House or Congress, there's a very real risk that right to work can become law for all of America. As for infrastructure, it's even scarier. While trillions of dollars will create massive work opportunities across the country, if things go the wrong way on election day, all of that money could be pulled back with a single stroke of a pen. No Micron job in Syracuse, no Global Foundries job in Vermont and New York, no offshore wind, and no offshore support facilities along our coast. Like I've mentioned, politics equal paychecks, and elections have consequences. We know there are a lot of political issues that people care about, but if you don't have a strong union and a good job, so what can you do? First, learn about and keep up to date on union issues. That's what today's programming is about. Register and go out to vote every election. And finally, amplify your voice by speaking out, not just during election season, but also when we're pushing our issues for better laws or more effective enforcement of laws. Some love politics and some hate it. But there's an old saying, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. The strength of any union is our numbers and our focus. This is serious, and our livelihoods depend on it. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work, brothers and sisters.